Hello everybody, this is Backblast. Here I am again on Planet Zoo, and what we're going to be doing today is continuing our Chester Zoo build. And if you saw my last couple of videos, the Stupid Bridge, as it's now known, was 2 videos ago. And last video we did the Rock Hyrax enclosure, which I'm quite pleased with. I think it turned out very well. It's got all the elements in it. Including bits of branches and rock and a way for a keeper to get in and out. The only thing it hasn't got is any animals, because the game doesn't actually have any rock hyrax in it. However, in order to make the zoo as complete as possible, we wanted the enclosure and we wanted a way in, and all that will be we're gonna flesh it out later. There's another enclosure here, which has some different animals in, but we're not going to be bothering with that yet. So all of the vegetation and the pathwork and whatnot for this is going to be for another video. What we are going to be doing is looking at our painted dogs. So this is the painted dogs enclosure over here, and we're going to be continuing to do some of the vegetation and flesh it all out down here. And then maybe we'll get some animals in as well this video, so at least they will be able to tell us what they want, whether they want different vegetation, whether they're happy with what I've put in. So at least we can get some sort of direction from the animals themselves as to how well I'm doing with the enclosure. So hopefully that'll all get done this video. We'll have a look at that. Let's get going. Let's just trap on. So the first thing we need to take a look at is our maps. We do have Chester Zoo loaded up here already. What I don't have is a ground level view. So let's go and look down here. So this is where the rock hyrax is. You can see we've got actually a nice panelled fence that runs along there until it reaches some rock work at the entrance to the painted dog's house. I guess that's what you call it. So we can start with that, can't we? Let's have a look at that. We've got the rock hyrax in there. We need to put some rocks in and a bit of a fence. So let's do that. Let's get going with that. So if you saw my last couple of videos, you'll realise that I struggled a little bit with the Stupid Bridge, as it's now called. The Stupid Bridge of Doom, or whatever I want to call it, caused some real issues, because I had this beautiful bridge, which was working fine. You know, it was a lovely bridge. It looked how I wanted it, so I was quite pleased with it. And then because we had to put water in, and it had a barrier with it as well to make some of the netting, I guess it is, on the side look okay. It then didn't work because we had to delete the barrier, which was supposed to look like netting, in order to make the bridge, which was really frustrating. Right, what I'm going to do now is let's just go to this. Okay. So I'm just looking at this area here. It's difficult to tell. The rock work here actually looks quite thin, doesn't it? So I think that we're probably about right with that. We just need this this barrier putting in, which tends to have, it's got about 10 different poles and then a tall one. So we can do that up to the hyrax. That's about a third of the distance across, I'm guessing. Which, yeah, I'm pretty pleased that I've got that about right. The path is going to go up to the very corner, so it's going to go to there. Okay, that'll be fine. We can do this. This is now looking like a pole rather than bamboo, so let's go into here. That's not it. Go on to beam. Beam's the one. Let's have a beam that is flexi color, so we can paint it whatever we want. And we want a round one, don't we? So that's too tall. So we're going to be going with something like this, which, yeah, maybe that's about the right height. We need to change the color on it because that's a bit pants. That looks a lot more like what we've got in there, doesn't it? And I think what we might do is we're going to drop it down a little bit, or I don't know. So is the first one? No, the first one's not a tall one, is it? I think that's about the height of the tall ones. Let's do a bit more of that. Also, I want to change the colour of this. That looks better. I like that better. I'm going to leave the first one. So this is going to go approximately into this area here. I don't quite know. Do I abut that up, or what do we do with that? It's hidden behind a bush. So we're gonna sneakily cheat it like that. That look about right. It seems to go in a kind of semicircular thing, doesn't it, really? I don't think I'm that far away. Let's just move you sort of that way a little bit. That sort of goes in a semicircle, doesn't it? So if I put some more of these in, so we're going to duplicate, and what we're going to do is we're going to shrink them down this time. So these will go in between, maybe this height. So I'm not bothered about the height being exact, because these fences at Chester Zoo tend to be a little bit higgledy-piggledy. The problem is that, you know, once you start doing the fence, you're sort of consciously trying to make sure that they are different heights. That's not bad, actually. I've not done a bad job there. So if we look at the picture again of the real life zoo, it actually looks like it might be a pathway through this fence for keepers, obviously, not for general public. I'll just show you that in a sec. It's hard to tell, really. I just want to get this finished. So if we look at the picture, I mean, I'm not. If you look where the path is, it sort of comes back into here. This has got mulch in it, but the path goes back there. Now I've looked at it more, I'm not convinced there is any sort of gate there. I don't think there is. Although yeah, there's a gate there. That's definitely a gate, isn't it? It looks like a tiny gate that's probably from here to here. Now, I'm not convinced that I need to put that in the game, but that is definitely a gate. I'm not convinced that we need that. Anyway, let's just continue with this. We're nearly done our fence work. Short one, wasn't it? So all that is behind this fence on the other side is a keeper area, which is sort of backstage of another enclosure. Cool beans. Yeah, it's a suitably higgledy-piggledy fence, isn't it? Like that. Yeah, not exactly level on top, is it? Which is cool. We like that. That's fine. There's a little bit of mulch going on down here, and then it sort of stops. So we're gonna put a bit in. Let's put a bit of mulch in. Let's do a bit of. Now there are two options here. I could do mulch, which would give me a definite dark patch. The other option would be to go down the terrain route, like soil heavy, just to make that a bit smaller, so I can control it a bit better. See, we could do that. We could do that, you see. Or the other option would be to go down the mulch route. It's not bordered really by a brick fence, or a little stone curbing. I think it's the right word, or a wooden curbing or anything. So I'm loath to put actual mulch in. I don't think we're going to bother with that. Let's not bother with the mulch. We're not going to mulch it. We're going to just use the dark covering. If it had like a beam, a wooden beam, or some stones edging it, then I might have been tempted to put mulch inside. But let's not bother with that. We sort of want. We've got a little bit of grass and some wispy bushes, really, which, too much, too colourful. The nettles might be alright. We could probably get nettles in there. That's probably a bit large. That might be alright as well. Papyrus sedge. Wattle bush might be alright as well. See what I mean? It's got that sort of wispy quality to it that we've got here. It's sort of like a little tree, but it's sort of wispy. It's not a big solid tree. There's no big solid bark. I want something that a big solid bark, a big solid trunk. I don't know what's up with me today. Today, a little discombobulated. Now that's more like it, but obviously too big. That's the sort of stuff we want there, isn't it? That's what we want. So what I've done is I've sunk the Himalayan birch down. Sort of encroaches a little bit too much there for my liking. Can we just rotate that a little bit more? Ah, yeah. How's that? Are we all right with that? What happens if I remove this sedge now? that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I like that. We've done a good job of that. This looks like the reeds, actually, that we had before, doesn't it? That I originally tried. They look like the reeds there. So it sort of goes in at the back near this rock. And there's a little bit of green scrub on the floor, so maybe we just go with... I don't think we've actually got any scrub, have we? We just want something green and flat, really. Like bracken, maybe? Have we got like a small bracken? Oh, maybe. Yep. Maybe. Beautiful. Just rotate that in. Superb. Okay. Right, so what else now then? So as we're coming out of there, that looks pretty good. We've got that. We need to sort maybe the floor out a little bit, but that all looks really good. We've got a little gap here. What is that? What have we got there? What's in this little gap? We do have some greenery. We have quite a lot of greenery. The problem with this is because it's a border for the painted dogs, I can't just put plants in willy-nilly because the painted dogs will go, oh no, they're in the enclosure. So what we're going to have to do is get some painted dogs in, aren't we? Now, is this fence... Barrier status is rubbish. Let's get that onto every 9 months. But we do have a fence that goes all the way around now, don't we? Yes, that looks as though it goes all the way around. I think we have an enclosure. So let's get some painted dogs. I keep calling them painted dogs. But we don't have any in this game. They're called African wild dogs in the game. And this is the closest we're going to get. Chester Zoo calls them painted dogs. We need Africa and grassland. Africa and grassland and some of these African wild dogs. I didn't actually read this. That's not good, is it? 2 to 27. Up to 27 males and up to 9 females. Okay, 2 to 27. So if we had 2 to 27 of those, well, we could easily have 2 of each, can't we? So we can get 2 male, 2 female, no problem. Right. Okay, we're going to have to run the game, aren't we? Oh dear. Right, so the game is running. We're going to call this now the painted dogs, so I know what it is. Painted dogs. Can we have a mechanic, please? Yeah, the rest of the zoo is now obviously continuing to run. With all the various warnings. So because I've got other buildings around with food courts in them or toilets, and they haven't necessarily got power yet, I am getting a lot of messages saying, oh no, there's no power for this sign that you've put up. So I'm going to get a lot of messages. There are a couple for cleanliness, which only just popped up as I started the game, so that should be getting sorted. There should be someone on the way to do that. Now the way into this enclosure, oh what the pants, that's not what we want. Where is it? Where is it? It says it's escaped. Oh, you've come over this side of the barrier, have you? Okay, that's interesting. Let's just do that. Can somebody come and get this, please? And I'll put a rock or something in there. Somebody come and get this chimpanzee, please. No, another one. That one came back. Oh, good. Protesters. Brilliant. Come on, can you come and get this, please? Please, somebody. Right, well, let's do that. Right, there we go. Ah, I see. Move that. Pop that there. Right, what we're going to do is let's just check the little fellas. Now, can you... Where can you get to? Where can you get to? I just want to check where you can get to. There we are. So the rocks stop them leaping over there now, which is fine. That all looks fine. Okay, let's now go back to Ray. There we go. Right, now the problem with this is the wild dogs don't actually have barriers all the way around. So even though there are barriers there and they need some maintenance, the barrier doesn't actually go all the way around. So there's null sections of barrier. So we've got glass, nothing there. Right. So what we need to do is just try and get this African dog a little happier. There's no hard shelter yet because I haven't built the hard shelter, which goes on the front there. There's also a couple of dens in the enclosure. He's happy for the space. He says there's not enough soil, so let's just at least try and get some of this sorted. Okay, so all this is going to be soily. I actually like quite a bit of short grass. We're going to go more soily over here as well. I'm going to have to change some of this because the topography is wrong. We need to raise up some of the land and drop some of the other bits of land. But they're pretty much happy with that now, aren't you? No hard shelter. Environment. Here we go. This is the issue that we've got now. So Africa and grassland. So here we go. Grassland. Just in Africa. No rocks, it says. Good. Right. What sort of coverage have we actually got tree-wise? There is quite a lot of trees down here. There's some in the middle, some over there. Let's go and have a look through the square windows and all that. So you can see there are trees in there. There is quite a bit of grass in there as well. We've got a couple of rocks as well. That's not part of a den, is it? Have we got... There is... Oh, hello. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There is some sort of... Is that a den there? There's certainly a den there. Let's just have a look, see what it is that we can see. So this is the first window. Just walk down a bit. We're not past one yet. There's two windows down here. This is always further down than I think. There we go. So we've got a rock there, which is a rock den, haven't we? There's a definite mound in the middle of the enclosure. It's a narrow path. Hello, people. I'm not looking at you. I'm just trying to see what's going on in here. Okay, so enclosure. Let's have a look at the terrain, and this is going to mess it all up again, isn't it? Because it'll put grass back in. I'll have to go back to the painted dog in a bit and have a little chat with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and make a little underground den thing here. Okay, which is going to go within view of that. It's going to go like this. And if it needs to be larger than that, doesn't it? Or else we'll be there forever. Wrong way, you fool. There we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and build this, and then we'll see what it looks like, see how much space there is in it, because at the moment that is not looking great. There we are. There we are. I can see grass moving on the top there. Alright, that might be alright actually. We might have got a nice little den going there. So IRL. Hello people. It's got some rocks around the outside. So I wonder if I can just push these walls out a little bit, just giving a bit more space inside, you know. Right, now let's get some rocks in. So the rocks are not in this menu. Well done. They're in because we've got Africa selected. It doesn't like it. They'll be in here. Now we're going for the smaller end of the rocks. I hope you like this, painted dogs. I hope that you're happy with this, because this is actually a bit large, isn't it? This rock, this one's way too large. But what it can do is it can go on this side quite happily, like this. And this is what we're thinking. Drop this in. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? That looks more like the sort of thing we're after. We don't want the rock cladding, do we? That one. Isn't too far away. And then that's way too big. Sort of a more elongated one, isn't it, that goes in there. Like that. And then we just want one that goes across the top. Like that. See, that's the same one. That's exactly the same one I had before. That's too big as well. Too big. Better. better. And then the last thing to do is just sort of smooth away. What the pants? Can we just unsmooth that? It went straight through. There's a big hole there as well. Cool. Cool. Can I get a little bit of bedding in there? Dog. Yeah, it's made a big hole in the roof, hasn't it? Oh my goodness. What is wrong with this game? What is wrong with it? Is it here just to annoy me? Or, you know, are those features built in separately at extra cost? It's not like they're massive animals, you know. How much space are they going to need in here? They'll be lying down as well. Okay, well, right. I'm fairly happy that the inside is large enough for the wild dogs. There, let's bring this up a little bit more so that it doesn't look like a massive carbuncle that's just been placed. I did notice there's another mound over here, so I wonder actually if this goes in and round a little bit. I don't know. Okay, so let's paint it again. Paint again. Paint. Right, better. Painted dog. Oh, this will be funny now. This will be funny. Can we get rid of you? Thank you. Painted dog. Can actually get out everywhere. Can't walk over this. Here we go. That's it. There we are. Can't get into the den. Can get out everywhere. Can't actually get into the den. There. Okay. So let's just have a look at that. Oh, there's a big lip. That's why. What? And a dog can't jump down that? Really? Really? Just smooth it a little. Go back to the painted dog thing. There we are.